Good morning. Let's start the weekly video. So what we are looking at is the big news of today. First stop is the ABSD for the foreigners is going to increase to 60%. Wow, that is a very huge increase. And for the locals, the second property is going for 20% ABSD. So how does it affect the market? As you can see, UOB over here. This morning, in the email, I actually highlighted UOB. The reason being is because UOB announced a very good set of results. So what we are looking at is that UOB may have a chance at this support level with the inverted hammer. But unfortunately, it coincides with the ABSD, therefore the support level did not manage to hold. So it trades below this 2913. Now, overall, if you look at the UOB's trend, it is not a clear trend because you don't see a very clear higher high, higher low. Right? It's more like a steep up, then it's a steep down. Now, next we are looking at the support over here as UOB breaks its 2913 support level. It comes to the potential that it may fill up this gap from 2872 to 2881. This was anticipated in the morning. Okay, this morning when I was looking at the chart. Okay, so let's see how the counter pans out. Next, we are going to look at the next counter. Of course, the related counters will be DBS and city development. So DBS and city development was highlighted earlier, where we are looking at DBS continuing its uptrend. So if you look at the chart, when I analyze the chart, so here we see low, higher low, and then the resistance over here is a crucial one for DBS to break. Then after that, the next one will be the support turn resistance at $33.36. So let's see how DBS perform after that. And then we are looking at city development. Also similarly going for an uptrend. As you can see, the trend line was plotted here, and city development has to clearly break up above 747 to go for 761. Now, as you all know, that the ABST has came in, and then of course city development is going to be affected as it is the major developer. So it just launched one of the new properties in district 15. So you can see here city development uptrend is clearly broken, because first of all you see that when you try to break out from this 747, the next day actually it falls back in the resistance. Then the next following day we see a heavy sell-off. Now this heavy sell-off is not accompanied with high volume, but there's some increase. So there wasn't any cause for alarm. Then after that we see the counter went down to test support at 729, and today the double whammy is the ABSD that caused it to come to this low, which is the key support level for city development at about 706. So what we are hoping is that city development don't break below 702, so that it can so-called have a chance to turn its situation. So if you look at the whole situation here, the uptrend is clearly no more because of this dip down. And next is that the next possible chance is that if this counter has a slight change or slight chance to change its direction, we are hoping that it can go back to 747. That will form a nice double bottom. But would it happen? That depends on the latest or the going forward result on the sales of its property, and how the market actually take this. Because if the property price doesn't go down, so it is not going to affect the developer anyway. Okay, now DBS, we are seeing a DBS consolidation. As you can see, the uptrend that was highlighted previously needs a breakout above 32.96, but DBS stuck at this resistance. So now we see low, higher low, and there is still higher low over here, but DBS has to break out from 32.96 or even $33 in order to succeed in continuing its trend. So it's a very key moment now, a defining moment, because right, if it's not going to be dragged down by the ABSD, which going to translate for future lesser property sales, means lesser loan. If everything is okay, like the last two rounds of cooling measure, it did not affect our banks. So if this round doesn't affect, then DBS breaking above 33.03 may help to bring it to the next resistance to 33.41. Then the uptrend continues, and we'll see from there. Next will be the next few counter capital AEM. Okay, let's talk about AEM. So AEM is not affected by ABSD, but the tech weakness continues in Singapore. As you can see, AEM is consolidating above 325, which is trying to form a support. The uptrend remains intact. As you can see, the higher low are still there. There is no lower low as yet, unless it breaks below 325. So the next thing is to look out for 339 to 344, which is key for it to continue its uptrend. As you can see, the consolidation over here, the volume isn't that high as compared to its surge. So this could be a flag pattern as well. So importantly is a clear breakout. So as you can see from the email here, which I have highlighted, we are looking at the same thing as of now. Nothing has changed as yet. And we are looking at above 340 level. If it breaks out, then it will be a successful uptrend continuation for AEM. Okay, jumping back to the property-related counters like CaplandInvest. Today, it did gap down, but it managed to recover well. CaplandInvest, I did spot the uptrend. So here you can see the uptrend for CaplandInvest, and expecting a breakout above 382, then next major resistance will be 390. Do take note that CaplandInvest tomorrow is going for XD and giving out escort REIT shares. So Kaplan escort REIT shares. So this may change the chart, and let's see how the chart would pan out to be after the XD. Next, we are going to look at the oil-related counters like China Aviation, SembMar, Wilmar. Wilmar, unfortunately, did not manage to break out before it XD. So today it went XD and it came down. Okay, and but that's fine. That's still fine. If you look at overall, the chart is still trying to form out a low over here. So the next key thing is that if you want to see Wilmar recover after the after XD price, so we are looking at it to cross 403 in order to move up. Then next, to see whether it can go back to this range at this 417, around this 417 level, okay, and 416 level, around there. Okay, next, if you are looking at the trend itself, the trend remains potentially up. So we can also plot a uptrend line over here. Okay, so if you look at the trend line over here, it makes 403 more important, because if it doesn't hold above 403, means that this uptrend line could be totally compromised, and there might be a change in trend. So we have to see this counter show us some potential bullish signs. If today cannot recover from this selling back to above 406, 403, 406, then yeah, we may have to reassess the chart. Next is China Aviation. Okay, China Aviation is a bit unique, because the past few rounds, you managed to hold at this 100-day MA and rebounded strongly. So this time around, the 100-day MA did not manage to help the counter to rebound as yet. As you can see, if I zoom in, you can see the counter is slowly going down. So today's action is trying to break low, but managed to recover to close at this low for now. So if the end of the day close at 93, there's still a glimmer of hope that it may rebound. But then if it can close even higher at 94, then of course we want to see a more upside, because it will be a good candle pattern like the hammer. So it's still low right now. If all doesn't pan out, then the support level will be as 885. And this will be a bearish sign going forward because it will form a top-ish pattern and it may crash even further if it touch 885 and breaks below it with extremely high volume. The volume overall is not high. As you can see, the market is still waiting for a direction, okay, a clear direction, as the counter is on a so-called bigger sideways movement. So if we see the breakdown with a surge in volume towards 2 million, 3 million, or 4 million, then we may see more downside. Next is Sembcorp Marine. Sembcorp Marine, there's a chance for it to go uptrend if you can go back to 126. But unfortunately, this counter has been restricted to trade between 120 to 123 level. So it is very frustrating to see the counter consolidate like that. So if this counter still doesn't want to hit 126 and come down to 117, it will be potentially a change in trend again, from potentially up to potentially down, especially when it breaks down 116 with high volume, and then it may go down to 101. Okay, so this is this week's video. If you like the video, kindly refer to your friends. So if your friend would like to open an account with Lim and Tan, kindly refer to me as well. And also, if you have any things that you would like to feedback, like any stocks that you have in mind, do feel free to highlight. Okay, thank you. Good day. Goodbye.